A very good morning, all the students. I am Dr. Sayyad Vakeel, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Poona College, Pune. So we are here discussing the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. We have already seen that the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 was enacted on 9 December 1881 and enforced from 1st March 1882. It consists of 17 chapters and 147 sections. It extends to the whole part of India. Okay. Okay. Then we'll see first the introduction part. The law relating to negotiable instrument is contained in the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881, which applies and extends to the whole of India. We'll see some definition. Negotiable means transferable by delivery. Transferable by delivery means suppose this pen, if I hand over to another person, it is a transfer by delivery. मतलब वो चीज किसी से लेके किसी को देना. So transfer by delivery, and the word instrument means a written document by which a right is created in favor of some person. Instrument किसको बोलेंगे? For example, PBC, promissory note, bill of exchange and check. तो वो जो है, it is a written document by which a right मतलब यहाँ पे हक होगा. right मतलब सही नहीं, right का मतलब सही भी होता, लेकिन यहाँ पे right का मतलब हक होगा, उसका हक. A right which is created in favor of some person. Thus, the term negotiable instrument literally means a written document which creates a right in favor of somebody and is freely transferable by delivery. For example, check लिया आपने, you have issued a check to Mr. A, rupees 10,000. So it is a written document, and Mr. A is entitled to receive or recover the amount which is mentioned therein. So 10,000, say rupees 10,000. So this is the meaning of negotiable instrument. So a negotiable instrument is a piece of paper which entitles a person to a certain sum of money and which is transferable from one to another person by delivery or by endorsement and delivery. Now these are some of the characteristics of negotiable instrument. We have already seen this in the previous session. The first part is freely transferable or easily negotiable. Then title of holder is free from all defects. Then transfer he can sue in his own name without giving notice to the debtor. Then it has certain presumptions, it has consideration, then date of the negotiable instrument, then time for acceptance is before maturity. It should be accepted before maturity. Then transferee can sue in his own name. Okay. Then there are two types of negotiable instrument. It is recognized by status and usage. So by status is bill of exchange, promissory note and check, and by usage bank notes, then share warrant bearer, etc. But this is not a bill of exchange. In bill of exchange there are only three instruments: PBC, promissory note, bill of exchange and check. So definition of promissory note is given under section 4. Under section 4. Under section 4 कैसे याद करेंगे? Count alphabets of note, NOTE. There are 4 alphabets. Therefore section number 4. A promissory note is an instrument in writing, not being a bank note or a currency note, containing an unconditional undertaking signed by the maker to pay a certain sum of money only to or to the order of a certain person or to the bearer of the instrument. This is the specimen of the bill of exchange. See, amount is mentioned, address is mentioned, date is mentioned. Then on demand, I promise to pay. So the person who is going to make payment, he gives undertaking. So person making the payment, the person who is going to make payment, pay. Uh, See, drawer and drawee, payer and payee. So payee gives the undertaking. Okay, and signature is there. And to whom it is mentioned? To the person who is going to receive the amount. So the person who is going to give the amount to make the payment, he is going to write the instrument. This is the sample. See, this sample was asked in the assignment. You have to write the specimen. You have to write this specimen. Okay. Then only two parties are involved. Maker, that is what we can say, drawer, and next one is payee. Okay. Then there are certain characteristics, or what we can say, essentials of promissory note. What are the essentials? It must be in writing. Okay. Then it must contain a promise or undertaking to pay. Then promise to pay must be unconditional. There should not be any condition. Then it must be signed by the maker. Okay. Signature is a must. Then the maker must be a certain person, specified person. Then pay must be certain, means both the parties should be identifiable, should be certain person. Certain means they should be identifiable. Then sum of money should be certain. The amount must be legal tender money. Okay. So that was promissory note. I hope you understood about promissory note. Now bill of exchange. Section number 5 is for bill of exchange. What is the logic to memorize section number 5? What is the logic? The logic is count the alphabet bills, bills, bills. So bills means if you count the alphabet, the section number 5. Calculate the alphabets of cheque, CHEQUE, section number 6. 4 note, NOTE. If you count the alphabet, see, this is not mentioned in the law. This is my logic to memorize the section number. Okay, note, section 4, promissory note. Bills, section 5, check, section 6. So bill of exchange, section number 5. What does it say? What is the definition of bill of exchange? A bill of exchange is an instrument in writing. First of all, it is an instrument. It must be in writing, containing an unconditional order. So an unconditional order signed by the maker. It must be signed, directing a certain person. So person is a certain, to pay a certain sum of money only to or to the order of a certain person or to the bearer of the instrument. They have given the example. Mr. X purchases goods from Mr. Y for rupees 1000. Mr. Y buys goods from. These are the examples. Okay. This is the specimen of the bill of exchange. Amount is mentioned, place is mentioned, date is mentioned. Then after 5 months date, pay Mr. So and so. Order the sum of rupees so and so. Only for value receipt. To name of the person is mentioned. Then accepted rupees. So here order is given to the person who is going to make the payment. Okay. then stamp is there, signature is there. So there are three parties: drawer, drawee, and payee. Drawee means who makes the order for making payment, जो आपको बोलता है कि आपको पेमेंट लेना है, ठीक है. और दूसरा कौन है? दूसरा इज ड्रॉवी. ड्रॉवी कौन है? To whom the order to pay is made, and pay is to whom the payment is to be made. Okay. Oh, thank you very much. I hope you have noted down. You can take the screenshot of this. Okay. Now, what are the essentials of bill of exchange? It must be in writing. If you see the definition, each and every word of definition will help you to see the essentials. What are the essentials? It must be in writing. Then it must contain an order to pay. Then it must be unconditional. Order must be unconditional. And it must be signed by the drawer or the maker of the instrument. Then all the three persons, drawer, drawee, and payee, they should be certain. The sum of money should be certain. Certain means something fixed. The bill must contain an order to pay. ठीक है, date, consideration, stamping, etc. All see the diff. I have given you this as a homework, but not only to all the three: promissory note, bill of exchange, and check. You can take the screenshot of this, all the students. Have you taken the screenshot? Okay. Now check. If you calculate the alphabets of check, number of alphabets, CHEQUE, section number 6. This is my logic to remember the section. There are 6 alphabet. Check. A check is bill of. It is a part of bill of exchange. First of all, it is a negotiable instrument. A check is the means by which a person who has fund in the hand of a bank withdraws the same or some part of it. So a check is a kind of bill of exchange, but it has additional qualification. क्या क्या उसके अंदर? A check is kind of bill of exchange, but it has additional qualification. Number one, it is always drawn on specified bank. Next, it is always payable on demand without any days of grace. There is no days of grace. In case of other bill of exchange, 3 days of grace days are there. Okay. Negotiation means transferable. One of the essential features of a negotiable instrument that it is transferable. So transferable in the following 2 ways. Number one, by negotiation and by assignment. Okay. So these are the modes of negotiation: by delivery, by endorsement, etc. Next is minor. Minor is a person who has not attained the age of majority. We have seen this in the Indian Contract Act, Section 11, capacity of party. When a person is said to be competent when he is not minor, of unsound mind, and not disqualified. We have discussed it in the Indian Contract Act. So not having power to contract, but he may become a promisee. Okay. Now discharge means what? Discharge means release from obligation. So suppose you have issued a check. When you are said to be discharged from the obligation. Discharge from the obligation. Discharge means release from the obligation. So by making payment, if you make the payment, your responsibility comes to an end. Then by express waiver means if somebody forgives, if he releases that I don't want money, it is called as waiver. Waiver means अपना हक छोड़ देना कि भाई मुझे पैसा नहीं चाहिए. It is called as waiver by cancellation and by material alteration or lapse of time. You should take the screenshot of this. Discharge and modes of discharge. Okay, thank you. Now dishonor. What is the dishonor of the instrument? Dishonor of the instrument, it is only because of two reasons. Number one, non-acceptance, and number two is non-payment. Okay. So a bill of exchange can be dishonored by non-acceptance when it can be dishonored because of non-acceptance. Does not, when the person to whom it was made does not accept within 48 hours from the time of presentment, drawee is fictitious and drawee has become insolvent or dead. Drawee is incompetent. No, that was about remaining part of crossing of check. So bearer check and cross check. So bearer check means any person who is in the receipt of the instrument can receive or recover the amount when the name of the person is not mentioned. What is cross check? When two parallel lines are drawn on the left hand upper side corner, two parallel lines, it is called as cross check. Cross check means only the person whose name is mentioned, account will be transferred to his or her account. Money will not be in cash. Cash will not be given. In case of bearer, cash will be given at the counter. Nowadays, they ask for ID proof as a security measure. Now, parties to the negotiable instrument in case of promissory note, only to maker and payee. And in case of bill of exchange, there are three parties: drawer, drawee, and payee. Okay. Holder. Holder means the person who is in the possession, lawful possession of the instrument. Okay. So there are three conditions. The person must be entitled in his own name to the possession of the instrument. Entitled मतलब उसके वो काबिल होना. He must be entitled to receive or recover the amount thereon from the parties thereto. Holder in due course. Holder is section 8. Holder in due course. Due course. If you calculate this alphabet, due 3 alphabet, course 6 alphabet. Due course. Due course. Number of alphabet is 9. Section 9. Any person who for consideration became the possessor of the PBC, promissory note, bill of exchange or check, if payable to the bearer or the payee or endorsee thereof, if payable to the order before the amount mentioned in it became payable and without having sufficient cause to believe that any defect existed in the title of the person from whom he derived his title. मतलब जिससे मिला अपने को वो चोरी का डॉक्यूमेंट नहीं होना चाहिए, वो उसका टाइटल अच्छा होना चाहिए. ठीक है. तो ये उन्होंने उसके होल्डर इन ड्यू कोर्स कब बनता है? दे हैव गिवन द कंडीशंस दैट मस्ट बी होल्डर ऑफ द इंस्ट्रूमेंट. ठीक है. होल्डर कब बनता है? होल्डर इन ड्यू कोर्स. ही मस्ट होल्ड द इंस्ट्रूमेंट, मस्ट बी होल्डर फॉर वैल्यू कंसिडरेशन, must have obtained the instrument before maturity, and must have obtained the instrument in good faith and with reasonable caution. These are the privileges of the holder in due course. Kindly take the screenshot of this. Kindly take the screenshot of this. These are the privileges of holder in due course. Okay. So that was negotiable instrument. Thank you very much.